what I've learned after recording myself speaking over 1 million words and using AI to synthesize all that's up. Hi, I'm Nick, former medical doctor turned soul doctor, and I've healed from my lifelong asthma and suicidal depression. And over the past 2 years, from about January of 2025 till probably the end of June of 2026, I recorded myself doing this magic mirror work, recording myself doing videos. And initially, it really was just to get myself practice being on YouTube, practice allowing myself to be seen. And later, I continued it because I realized, oh, this is really good for myself to have these like daily dumps. And I can think of it like, taking the thoughts out and putting it in, or looking at the mirror and being able to see my own reflection. And I didn't know what to do with it all. I posted them online for a few months and I realized, okay, I got to stop doing this. And I post them for the future so that I was like, it's not in real time, so I don't feel as much, of my own sensitivity to what I'm saying. And then I stopped posting it all because I realized this is no longer for everyone else. This is for me. And then I didn't know how to synthesize it all, though. There's so much stuff. What do I do with it? What do I do with all these insights? And finally, I was like, all right, let's let AI actually help me. I was worried about privacy, all that stuff, so I created my own local AI as well. We won't get into the details of how I did it because that's for future. I'm still learning about it. Rather, I put in these transcripts and then it spit out some themes, some highlights, some cadences that really helped me to see my own narrative arc. And I'm going to create a little bit of a longer video right now. This is just my first attempt at it. We're going to talk about the whole idea of failure, the whole idea of practices, identity, overcomplicating things, really diving into family, really bringing up key themes that are important. And I'm putting this out here now for a couple of reasons. One is you may actually be inspired to do your own version of this. I think that's really important for those who are called to it. You now have the tools and technology to be able to synthesize reflections. And if you're like me, where as I did this, I got better at flowing with my thoughts. And I really appreciate that because then it was less trying to control them all. And part of that control is my fear. I'm trying to get things right so that I feel better, so I feel seen better, so I can feel more confident. And then the other part is just to be able to see what's actually going on in the background, like what's that inner voice saying, and letting that inner voice flow through to hear what the voice is. I used to have a really mean inner voice, and I thought it got much better, and it has gotten much better. And still the main theme that came out was, oh my God, I failed, I'm failing, I'm not enough. All those are still recurrent themes that keep coming in. Now, they come in much more strongly when I'm not doing my regular practices that I know serve me, and they come in much more when I am surrounded by family or about to launch a big project or something is going wrong. And it's just part of the nature of still not trying to make it right or wrong, and then noticing that it has shifted over the year and a half that I've been recording. And I found that really helpful and useful because I'm like, okay, it's still there. Sometimes I want to fool myself saying it's not there. And then something on the external, especially my beloved will say something, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm thrown back into it. I'm like, how could you have sabotaged all I've created? And what I'm remembering now more clearly is like, she's not sabotaging me. She's bringing to the light, bringing to the surface what's already there. And that's a big part of this reflection. It's bringing to the surface what's already there. And if this has been the dominant theme driving my life, it has created what is already created. And I am willing now to continue shifting this because I'm curious what might be created outside of this being the dominant theme. And that goes back to an idea that I've been noodling with, that people have been saying, what if your primary driver isn't the gap or the not enough or I'm broken or I've got to beat myself up or all these things? What if it's come from love, from grace, from devotion, all those places? And how do I practice a lived experience of it? Not just the pretty words, but a lived experience. And that's the piece that I want to come from, is a lived experience. And that's the family piece. So every time my family comes to visit, there's oftentimes I might get sick or worn down or run down or trying to perform or trying to people please, all these things. And right now I'm in the midst of 2 weeks out of 4 weeks of family staying with us. And I chose this deliberately because I was like, I'm going to learn so much. I'm going to approach this differently. I'm not just going to try to people please. I'm not going to try to make this a vacation for them. Rather, how do we coexist? How do we learn from each other? How do we learn with each other? How do we see each other's patterns? How do I love? How do I take breaks? So yesterday was a break day, and even in the break day I was doing so much. Today, a bit of a break day as well before we have a huge family barbecue. And being able to see that these patterns repeat. I am a mirror of my mom and my dad and their relationship, especially, until I actually am able to choose outside of it. I can see my own brother, I can see my beloved, I can see her parents, and I can see that I'm not above or below it. It's an extension. I'm so grateful for this extension. That's why I went to my parents' 50th anniversary last year, wedding anniversary, and I thanked them. I was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And even though I'm still going to come up with more things where I am upset, where I feel like I could have gotten a better childhood, where I'm raising my own son differently, sometimes rebelling by doing almost the exact opposite, it doesn't mean that it was wrong. I'm so glad I came here. I've gotten to this place where this has been revealed to me, where I get to live this life. Like, this life right now is pretty friggin' awesome. And part of it is I'm stepping more into the honesty of myself. So I'm not trying to come from a place where I've got to have it figured out, where I'm fixed, where I'm above it, where I'm Instagram worthy. Part of me wants that. And the more I keep hearing about what's actually going on behind Instagram accounts, I'm like, I don't want that. Someone, actually, my beloved just reminded me, there's a book that she'd been recommended a couple years ago by this doctor we really appreciate. And this author just committed suicide. And it's like, what is actually going on? Because they're releasing a new program, they've got 2 kids, all this stuff. Regardless of what we think might be out there in the world, what is going on? And coming from a person who's been suicidal before, who has had those dark thoughts, I can recognize everything in my life is more worthwhile when I can realize this is the focus. Just living, just being. Who do I want to be? How do I want to live? And I'm grateful having been there, because it helps me to empathize with people who go through this, especially this act. But I also get to step in the containers with people who haven't gotten to this act yet, who've been contemplating it, and I can have an empathy of it. It's like, hey, I've been there in my own version. I don't know you. And I know pain can feel so real that it might be like easier to think of checking out rather than continuing on. And that's what I appreciate about this as well. It's like, okay, I'm being more honest. And that's what I really want to do in this world. I had wanted to do really pretty retreats, all this stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not here for just the pretty. I'm here for the messy. I'm here for all that stuff. And I'm here to keep refining, keep learning, and be a student at the same time as being a master. And I really appreciate it. I met with David Data yesterday and Audrey Khan on a group call, and being able to hear, it's like, oh, going from the basic needs, wants, needs, to the what was it? The superior man, to the mastery of certain things. And I used to think that was so obnoxious, thinking superior man. And I really appreciate it now, him just saying it, not because it's true, but really being able to place us in the uncomfortable truth. And then the man of zero, stepping into just pure presence, alignment, stillness. And I can see more of that coming through. More of that coming through. These morning practices are important. So that was the other reflection, the morning practices. This early morning sunlight. Right now it's 9 a.m. I've been up since, well, I woke up first at 3 a.m., went back to bed, woke up again at 6 a.m., came out in the sunrise right away, saw the sunrise over the mountains, have been out in the sun as much as I can, and it's helped to build a solar callus. It's helped to reset my mitochondria, circadian rhythm. It has helped to shift my vasopressin especially. So at night I used to both drink water and pee. Need to get a pee. I've done neither of those things for the past 2 years consistently. And it's been fantastic being able to do that. Especially was helpful when I went camping. Everyone else had to pee in the night. I did not. And I'm seeing that now. And I'm seeing how I can actually be with direct sunlight in my eyes, no sunglasses, much better than I used to be. So many people need it still because they're still not there yet. And it doesn't mean I'm better than, and it does mean I'm better than I used to be. And still being here in Canada with all the chemtrails, all the pollution, all this stuff means that there is still this idea of degradation. How do I optimize this? So the sunlight was the most important thing, and I've done that. The enemas were the second most thing that I did almost. Well, actually breathwork is enemas. And I shifted from the coffee enemas being attached to it to urine enemas to now having had 2 weeks of no enemas because I'm like, family's here. It's not convenient. Let's see how it goes. And I had the most amazing poop today. Whew. It was a giant mound. I actually took some pictures of it. It was hilarious. And then almost clogged the toilet. And I was like, oh crap. And I was like, all right, that was perfect. Like the things are flushing and flowing. And that's part of it, learning about the deuterium. It's like, oh, when I'm runny nose and all that stuff, just like my body's clearing what I've been accumulating. And I've been doing different things, drinking more sea salt infused water, right? Whether it's different herbs, having this chrysanthemum tea to help remove some of the heat energy from my body, I've done carnivore for a bit as well, just stepping that, trying it out. I've done my longest fast ever. I think it was like 7 or 8 days. I've done Ibu, cleaning of the blood. I've done breath works, and I've calculated it's probably about 1,000 breaths for about an hour that I do. And having done Bob Frizzell's breath as well, just coming into the feeling of life again, the feeling of life, the feeling of life. And recognizing when I'm not actually just trying to be clean, I can notice Ohana really means something. There's a reason I chose Ohana. Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind. And I am now focusing, who are the family I really want to have around me? There's definitely my biological family, my beloved, my son, my cat. There's the extended family, my parents, my brother, my beloved's family. And now we have a cousin and her daughter staying with us, and they're so important. And then the Ohana that's outside of the biology as well. Who are the people, the Ohana brotherhood I created with my friends Brent and Mike? The people who are coming to Egypt, the small group, because it really is about deepening the bonds. The people I have in Hawaii, on Vancouver Island. I could say all over the world, there are pockets of people. And how do I deepen those relationships whenever I can? How do I notice? And that's part of the failure piece. I'm like, oh, I'm not being as good a friend as I can be. I'm like, I'm not going to be perfect all the time. And then part of it now is noticing the complexity. I thought I was being perfectionist. I thought I was being people pleasing. Oh, I'm avoiding the pain of not being able to succeed at something. And by avoiding it, I'm also not failing at it. And then I'm getting stuck in the messy in between. I'm just noticing it more now. And I am moving faster, and it still feels like molasses. And part of it is there's the fear of my own success. There's the fear of my own reach. That's part of why even in this video, it's not as clear, as tight, as concise as it could be. I'm purposely allowing some of the messiness so I can be more truthful. There's more truthiness in it. Because I'm like, who's actually going to watch this? Who's going to actually get to this point? I recorded that video from liberal to conservative, and it took off relative to my regular platform. And it scared me a little bit. I'm like, I can't make something that controversial, that clear again. And I haven't yet. I haven't released that many videos. And part of me is like, oh, I got to get it right. And part of me is like, oh, just get on the cadence again. Release some of the stuff you've created. Don't make it about being perfect. Don't worry about if I lose 400 followers. So what? So what? Because that's part of it, is being willing to lose people who jumped onto one video because they're not here for the body of work that I'm here for. And that's part of it. The depth of the work that I'm here for really is I'm inviting people in. That Ohana breath is that broad container. So this is the reflection. The Ohana breath is the broad container. Something is definitely not working there because it hasn't taken off yet, and that's okay. And part of it comes from inside. Ooh, I have not been ready to be seen that much yet. Ooh, I am making things unclear. Ooh, I'm definitely making things too complex. So how do I partner with my business partner, especially Matt, to make things simpler, especially for that? And letting the complexity flow into the private journeys that people want to take. Not the preparation, not the follow-up, but the journey itself. Recognizing we're opening lots of doors that will take a little while to integrate, and that's okay. And recognizing I've worked with some CEOs, AI CEOs recently even, and it's both been really enlightening, opening, and as well it's almost pushed them away because it's too much at once. There's a part of me that wants to do too much at once. It's part of my patterning that I'm like, oh, how do I take you to the furthest depths rather than taking you to where things want to go right now? Being more clear about it. Hey, I can take you really, really, really deep. Is that where you actually want to go? I want to go there myself because I find it really fun. I want to sail across the oceans. I want to dive in the deepest trenches. I want to really get with the sea life. And it doesn't mean everyone wants to do that right now. I'm going to take a look at the computer right now to see what else there is. Yeah, complexity. Holding I don't know. So part of it is to Tao Te Ching more. I hold the I don't know and I know at the same time. I hold the paradox of things. Trust is the currency. Everything is a story. I always have a choice. The only constant is change. You know, divine imperfection. Embrace the crisis. There's a part of me that has such a polarity in it. And someone told me, like, you're the Joker man. Everything the riddle man. Everything I speak is in riddles. And I've learned these riddles as well. I'm remembering these riddles. I'm the lineage of riddles. And the more I can step into this mischievous nature, this Merlin nature, this Thoth nature, the better it's going to be, because that's my greatest gift. And it doesn't mean I don't have to get to wash the dishes, book something, have a conversation, wipe a dirty bum, take a shower, clean things up. I'm learning those things as well. I'm learning them better and faster too. So it's both and, not either or. And I keep coming back to both and, over and over, realizing it's both and. I want to have both the complexity and the simplicity. I both want the closeness and the separation. I want the family and the non-family. And part of it's stepping into, so the business and family, they are one and the same, and they're separate. So I'm going to go to Egypt separately from family because that's important for this time. And much of my business I do with my family because it's such an important, integral part of how I live. It's an integral part of how I reset. It's an integral part of remembering. So my beloved especially is not trying to sabotage me. She's actually trying to help set me free. And the places where I feel sabotages are the places where I'm still not creating, allowing for the freedom that's already there. My life right now is so free. My child self will be so happy. Wow. Let's just put it this way. You've made it to the point where you've had $1 million net worth before. You've made it to the point where you've had $100,000 house or $1 million house. You've made it before where you've had the $100,000 car. You made it before where you had that crazy camper. Because I remember when I was younger in residency, and there was this camper someone had, so it's like $250,000 at the time. I was like, that sounds crazy. And then I had one that was very close to that. I was like, oh. And it doesn't make me any better, any worse. I'm living a semi-retired life. I'm doing what I actually want to do. I'm no longer in a system in the same way where I have to be. I'm getting to play with being in and outside of the body. I'm playing. I have a child. I feel healthier than ever. I feel younger than ever. My younger self would be so happy. And it's okay that my current self sometimes is unhappy with where things are. That can still feel like I just should go in a corner and die. And I have the highs of the highs. I just finished having a camping trip where I was with 3 very powerful women, mothers, and their 3 children. And it was so beautiful to be able to hold that masculine side of the container, be the simplicity, be the stillness, to be able to step in and out on my own, to also be the camp counselor. I was sharing songs, sharing the game Pooh Sticks, sharing Star Trekking, sharing the Underwear song, all these things, and having so many laughter, so many giggles, roasting sausages, roasting marshmallows, really being able to share that, being at the beach, being at the water, being able to play in the hammock, being able to play imagination games. That's a big part of it too, stepping back in imagination, stepping back and reading fiction, stepping into shifting to Hawaii, traveling, being with family, noticing myself stepping into what's most important, notice myself stepping in and out of the practices and noticing both. And having had this body of work now, no one can come back to this. It's part of the reason why I can see Mr. Beast did his thing where he counted up. For me, it's like, okay, this is my body of work. I am not here to prove myself to you. Rather, I am still proving myself to myself. And I am still trying to prove myself to you too. There's a part I can see in my family line, whether it's my dad, my brother, and not to fault them, they are still working for that external approval, and so am I. It's just more explicit there, whether it's trying to get a gold medal, whether it's trying to win an award, well, not trying to win an award. And that's a piece they're doing really well as well. They're both not trying, and they're not trying, they're receiving. And this is me not trying to be seen and being seen at the same time. And I know now more and more as AI is able to scout things, this is going to help create more clarity. Who are the tribe? And someone I look up to and listen to, Dr. Jack Cruz, I was just listening to him just now. He is acerbic, he is abrasive, he is not trying to talk down, dumb down. He kicks people out, all that stuff, because he's trying to create the tribe he really wants to be around. And I get to do that in my own way. We all do that in our own way. Whether we block people out physically, whether we move to somewhere, whether we block people on social media, all these things we do. Whether we say we let everybody in, we don't. I don't let everyone in my house. I don't let everyone in my life. How do I make that more and more deliberate without making my process the deliberate right process? Rather, I'm inviting people to start seeing their own process. I made so many mistakes in this camping trip. I was so sure of things. This is the way it's supposed to go. And someone else says something else, like, I'm getting better at being like, okay, I'm not the right way. This is my first response. I'm going to feel attached to it. I'm going to feel a little attacked. And I'm willing to let go. Okay, how do I step back? And it was as simple as yesterday, hanging a picture up on the wall. I asked my beloved to do it. And then as she was doing it, I started inputting it. She said, hey, I thought you asked me to do this. Like, thank you, I'm going to step back now. And that's part of it with Magic Mirror Work. It's reminding me, you've done a lot of deep reflecting now. Now take a step back and start consolidating. seeing what actions there are to take. All right, what am I gonna do? Egypt, December. It's a guidepost. We got our first deposit in. There's only 13 spots. So there's only 12 spots remaining with us 3 facilitators. It's actually really limited, and I love it. Who do I actually want to invite? I'm just gonna send out a little invite and then let it go. I'm gonna have people help me with the Instagram and postings. I'm gonna do my part as much as I can and let it go. This is the process, because we have until middle of September to really get this dialed in to a certain degree before we may have to pivot a little bit. And it's okay either way. And then the second thing is actually just being with family. 2 more weeks, being with family. The third thing is actually responding to people, responding especially to my beloved, and then others in a more timely fashion, especially if they're family. I want to remind them that they are loved, remind myself that I love them. And then I actually want to create this in-person breath, this in-person ceremony, and it's continuously stepping back and forth, what's going on. And then stepping into the little steps that I can do, breaking down the steps of whether it's the insurance, whether it's the taxes, and stepping into it. Not from a place of I have to, I'm coming from behind, oh my God, who am I letting down? Rather, how am I actually gonna step into this with more joy, lightness? And then coming back to this match mirror work, I'm still doing it because there's more of a body of work to be created. I'm actually using this and it's bringing itself into this work, just like this video. I'm gonna publish these things, and whether I get a response or not, it's okay. And I'm getting better at responding to the comments of these videos, especially because, hey, if there's comments here, someone's actually watching this stuff. This is an amazing interaction. And part of it, the reason why I'm gonna create videos like this is it's gonna help force function sort out who actually wants to do the deep work with me. If you're actually watching this, you really want to do deep work with me. Now, the question is, are you ready for the deep work through the Ohana breath, which is super accessible because financially there's some things to sort out, or whether you have financially figured things out and you're still watching these really ridiculously long videos, and it's a no-brainer then. It's a no-brainer. Dive deep into yourself. Get the guidance to do it. I am still doing it. The funny thing, and I'll say this, is that I spent over $200,000 and 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, however you want to define it, of my life to create that medical degree. I've spent more than that and spent more time, energy, purpose, directional stuff to become the soul doctor that I am now. And I know I'm just beginning. And this is the fun thing. And as I create and attach to this identity, I'm also recognizing at any time it may be just as important to let go of that identity. Because the identity is just like, I'm an actor. I pick up roles, I put down roles. I pick up roles, I put down roles. There's so many amazing roles I've had the privilege of picking up. There's so many people I've had the privilege of keeping secrets for, interacting with. And I look forward to, and I'm much better now putting those down. I've forgotten so much stuff. Because what is there to forget other than be here right now? Trust is the currency. This divine nature of life, this messiness, this completeness. Can I actually be the most honest version of me, live my most present life, live in this current timeline, and then be willing to be guided back into the complete unknown, the unknowable of what's next, because I don't know what's going to come after this. I do not know even what's going to come now in this 3D life, and I am grateful for all the steps that have led me to here, and I look forward to making more. Ciao for now. Ciao for now.